concept of elections is only one part of the Constitution. It's about ensuring that the fundamental rights of citizens are protected. Concepts that Ambedkar put out of equality, liberty, fraternity. Do you believe those concepts are really being observed in letter and spirit by indeed the lawmakers or indeed the law of this country, the judges of this country, or are there serious lacunae there?
In theory, the constitutional rights are all in place. And after the Coelho judgment, we have locked in the constitutional rights. They cannot even be amended. How are the constitutional rights to be protected? The one area where the judiciary has, in one sense, supremacy is enforcement of constitutional rights. That is why Ambedkar did something very unusual for the Indian Constitution. He expressly conferred the power of judicial review of legislation. We didn't have to invent it like the Americans did in Marbury and Madison. Our courts have a right to strike down legislation if it violates fundamental rights. That was a very important step. And two, the right to move the Supreme Court itself was made a fundamental right in Article 32. So by which the signal of the Constitution was, where it comes to constitutionally defined fundamental rights, the judiciary is the last word. And I must say, especially post-Krishna Iyer, the development of our fundamental rights jurisprudence is a marvel. And the world respects for what our courts have developed, our system. We've read in gender justice, we've read in due process, we've read in the right to privacy, and so on and so forth. But if you find today that there is an overall feeling that the Supreme Court is failing to protect the Constitution, we need to go back and see, and there is a lot which is troubling the judiciary today.
And what, according to you, is the biggest challenge in a way that will, for those who would like to see the letter and the spirit of the Constitution actually translate into concrete action on the ground?
First of all, I think our political system needs to be a little more responsible. If the last word on the constitutional rights has been given to the judiciary, you cannot say, I as a politician will define what is my understanding of the fundamental right. And if the Supreme Court doesn't agree with me, the system doesn't work. Today, we've reached either you're with us or you're with them kind of an attitude in public life. Either it's my truth and your truth. If you agree with me, you're a great judiciary. If you don't agree with me, you're a subservient judiciary. Now, that's not the way for approaching, at least for senior people in public life, for approaching. Yes, you can criticize a judgment saying, here are the intellectual flaws in this judgment. And we have a debate. Democracy is all about many voices.